Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Game Day with Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, 18xx. I am your host, Edward Euler. Happy to be joined by some very good friends of mine, members of the herd.
I'm Jess.
I'm Asher.
I'm Greg.
All right, today we are excited to bring you the February 2019 Game of the Month, the classic and some might say best game by this designer, Reef Encounter, designed by Richard Breeze and published by Z-Man Games and a host of other publishers. So welcome everybody watching live around the world as well as after the fact. Before we get started, a big thanks to our 737 patrons who help make all of this possible. If you would like to join the herd, check out pledgehc.com. That said, a special shout out to Neil Haggerty. Say thank you for being a patron and supporting the show. So Reef Encounter is an old game, but man, is it good. We played it as a group earlier this week. Had a great time, and it was contested. It was bloodthirsty game. Yeah, it really was. It was really good. It's very much an in-your-face game, and it accurately shows, I think, in the ecosystem for an abstract. It does an amazing job of integrating the theme. More on that later. That said, going to bring down the camera and the chat for the teach. The teach is going to be pretty involved. I'm going to go over everything, and then we'll get started. So, y'all ready?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. All right, so here in Reef Encounter. There we go. All right. In Reef Encounter, players will be acquiring larva cubes and polyp tiles, and then trying to build large corals protected by their own shrimp. Eventually, and hopefully, having their parrotfish consume those coral, which will be worth an ever-shifting amount of victory points until players lock in the value or the dominance of each color of coral. After all the dominance tiles are locked in, or one player's parrotfish eats 4 times, the game ends. Whoever's parrotfish has the most valuable belly full of coral is the winner. All right, so what are you guys looking at here? Well, first off, we have the main coral reef boards. There are 1 per player, but these are communal, so no one owns a board. Just because this board is down here in my corner does not matter. I can play on any of the 4 boards, as can everyone else. They start with a polyp tile on each of the 5 coral colors. This is kind of set up for an example, so disregard this one down here. There is a starfish space near the center of each of the boards. And then there are a couple, possibly as many as 3, deep water or black areas which are blocked off and unavailable. So all these spaces, as you can see, are not available for building coral. Then over to the right here, we have the open sea board. So at the top, these are coral strength tiles. These are going to determine the dominance of one coral over another, as well as the value of coral at the end of the game. Then there are larva cubes, and there are polyp tiles in the bag here, but there are also larva cubes and polyp tiles down here for drafting at the end of a player's turn. There is space for the first shrimp eaten by each player down here, then space for a single algae cylinder there. Bonus polyp tiles for building adjacent to the unavailable starfish space are going to be up here next to the open sea board, as you can see there. Now over here on our player tableaus, everybody has a parrotfish. So the parrotfish has a bottomless belly. So these guys are real hungry. So this is going to be a repository for all the polyp tiles that we're able to eat that are going to score us points at the end of your game. At the end of the game, shrimp after the first one will also be placed in here. Then, as you can see, every player has a player screen here, and behind the screen goes all your selected or drafted polyp tiles, as well as any acquired larva cubes that you may have, as you can see there. There are 4 googly-eyed shrimp, which will partially defend a player's coral. And in front go all of the polyp tiles that a player have conquered or consumed by dominant coral. And every player also has a somewhat helpful player aid. Now I should note that we are playing the basic game here, so there are a couple of expert variants, but honestly, I find the game challenging enough in the base value, or base version, so that's what we are playing tonight. Now, before we get into how to play the game, due to the interwoven nature of Reef Encounter, we're going to do things a little bit different tonight. We're going to go into the goal of the game a bit more in depth, as well as the mechanisms of this game, so that everything makes a bit more sense as we go along. A big thanks to my friend Scott Nicholson, who gave a wonderful logical layout on how to teach the game, and honestly, in many ways, I kind of followed his lead as far as how to teach this game. Don't reinvent the wheel, right? All right, so the goal of the game is victory points. You'll notice there's no victory point track out here. It's just we're going to add up our victory points at the end of the game. We're going to gain victory points only by feeding your parrotfish. So only the things that are here inside your parrotfish are going to be worth points at the end of the game. This is done by eating coral or groups of polyp tiles from out here on the board. These polyp tiles are going to be protected by one of your shrimp. And apparently it's supposed to be said shrimps, not shrimp. I'm going with the singular version, so sue me if I'm wrong on that. Each polyp or coral tile is going to be worth 1 to 5 victory points each. Each tile themselves is worth 1 victory point. So for instance, this tile each tile has a base value of 1 victory point apiece. Then, based upon the dominance over other coral colors, these can be worth up to 4 more victory points at the end of the game. And when I say the dominance, we're talking about these coral strength tiles up here. To go about feeding your parrotfish, you have to eat coral, all right? A coral is a set of orthogonal polyps of the same color. And eating a coral must be done as the first step in any given turn. So if you take any other action prior to actually eating coral, you have to wait until the beginning of your next turn to feed your parrotfish. And to be able to score any points, you're going to want to eat a collection of single color coral, at least 5 polyps big, and those polyps or that coral or that reef, kind of interchangeable as far as the terms go, they have to be protected by one of your own shrimp. You start with 4 shrimp and the game ends potentially after one player has fed their parrotfish all 4 of their shrimp. So the first 4 polyps, when you choose to feed, if I choose to feed, for instance, this coral reef, it's the beginning of my turn, and as my first action, I choose to feed my parrotfish this coral. To do so, the very first 4 that I take off the board, I'm going to remove all 6 tiles off the board. The first 4 are lost. As Scott likes to say, the parrotfish are messy eaters, so the first 4 are wasted. Anything above and beyond the first 4 will then go into my parrotfish's belly. And how do you do that? Well, here you go. First 4, those 4 would go back into the bag. These 2, nom 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 nom. And yes, you do have to make that sound per Scott, and we're not ones to question Scott, so we have to follow that rule. These 2, 1, 2, those will go in there along with my shrimp, unless it is the first shrimp that I ate. And it has to be one, you have to eat your own color, obviously. So in this case, it's the first shrimp I ate, it's going to go out there on the board. If it were a subsequent shrimp, if I had already had one out there, that guy would then come over and join the party in the belly of the parrotfish. Okay? So that's how, and these 4 would then go back into the bag. Okay, but I'm gonna leave them out here for a subsequent example later on. Okay, so let's say it's like so. And we'll put our shrimp back out there. So, any questions about the actual action of eating the coral and feeding your parrotfish? First 4 are lost. Anything above and beyond goes into the belly of your parrotfish. If it's your first shrimp goes here. If it's not, it goes into the belly of your parrotfish. Easy enough?
Yeah.
Pretty clear.
All right, cool. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the coral strength value, or how much is each tile worth, and how can you determine which coral is dominant over one another. There are, as you can see, 10 coral strength tile. The rule book refers to these as coral tiles. I find that really confusing because sometimes we're going to reference these as coral tiles. Coral strength tiles is how I'm going to reference them during the teach. So know that when I say coral strength tile, it's referring to these 10 tiles here. Each tile shows a color dominating another color. So in other words, which is dominant and which is recessive. So if you take a look at each of these, and I'm going to bring one over here to be able to show y'all here. So each of these tiles has a dominant, which means it has 2 of that color tile on the top, and a recessive, or the weaker of the 2 coral, only has 1 single color showing. So dominant has double on top, recessive or dominated has single on the bottom, and then there is some extra info on this tile. There is an algae and possibly a starfish on it, which we'll explain here more a little bit. All right, so let me go ahead and, if it were on this side, pink is dominant over white. If it were on this side, white is dominant over pink. Now let me go ahead and give a couple of examples here. And the game starts out with each coral dominant over 2 other coral. So you'll notice here pink is dominant over orange and yellow to start, whereas orange is dominant over yellow and white. White is dominant over pink, and white is dominant over black or gray, whatever you want to call that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, this also correlates to the value of the tiles that your parrotfish has eaten at the end of the game. When this game ends, and let me give an example, let's say at the end of the game it were something like this. If my parrotfish, going back to the example here, the first 4 were gone, but these 2 were in the belly of my parrotfish, each of these white polyps would be worth how many points at the end of the game? Well, we look at this, that's 1 point for the individual tile, and then it's dominant 1, 2, 3 others. So 1 plus 3, each of these tiles is worth 4 points at the end of the game. So if my parrotfish ate those 2 tiles, we're looking at 8 points for white for that 1 feeding, but that's only if it were at the end of the game. It could be that maybe at the end of the game, it's something closer to this. Whereas, well, okay, they're 1 point apiece and plus 1 for every, 1 point apiece, because they're not dominant over everything. Alas, eat better. Okay, so these would be worth 1 point apiece in this example. Is that clear? I'm driving this point home, but it really is the core to the game and the most important thing, because that's how you're scoring victory points. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So that is coral strength value and how that works. So apparently we have no questions on that, so we're going to move on. So let's go ahead and talk about how dominance changes throughout the game. Well, you see me flipping these tiles. Well, how do you go about exactly doing that? Well, the game, it starts like so. During the game, players are going to get a chance to place these algae discs. There are 4 different color algae, and they correspond roughly to the color of algae that is down here in the bottom left-hand corner of a given tile. And let me go ahead and grab these 2 and show you guys over here. So white is dominant over pink, yellow is dominant over grayish black, and then I told you we would cover these. Well, these are the algae colors down here. So if you look close, you'll see that there is a green algae with kind of a purplish algae peeking out from behind, whereas here you have a red algae with a blue peeking out from behind. That shows not only you know that it's going to be the inverse of this, so it's going to be flipped on the other side for dominance there, but also the color of the algae will flip. So the green will be in the background and the purple will be in the front, and same with the blue and the red. Okay, so that's the algae itself on it. As an action on a player's turn, players can choose to place an algae disc in one of 2 places. So let's go ahead and put these bad boys back out here for the example. So there are 2 places in which a player can choose to place an algae disc. On the open seaboard, in the spot shown for a algae disc, or directly on a actual coral tile. It's a coral strength tile itself. The latter requires a shrimp to have already been placed on the board. And how do you do that? You will have had to have eaten one, at least on your by your parrotfish will have had to have eaten at least once. It goes there, and this signifies now you can place on directly on a coral strength tile. If that is not there, if I have not eaten, my only other option is to place a algae disc right here on the space that is on the board. Then, if you place it here on the board, you can then flip whatever color coral tile or whatever color matching algae as shown here. In fact, you must. So if this being a red algae, that means that this, and this tile, which shows the dominant, if you will, algae on top, all those are going to flip over, like so. And boom, done. That's one option to be able to do so. How you go about doing this and the payment you have to do for that, we'll talk about more on that later. However, going back to the original example, if a player has already fed their parrotfish once and they have a shrimp out here, instead of doing that, which they can choose to do so still if they wish, they could instead choose to place on any one tile, one coral strength tile of their choice. What that does, they are locking that tile and its dominant or strength and the value for the rest of the game. In addition, all matching colored algae shown on the coral strength tiles are also flipped. So just like placing it here, we're going to flip these red ones as well. However, this tile can never, ever, ever be flipped again. Orange will always be dominant over yellow, and orange tiles or polyps will automatically be worth a minimum of 2 points apiece. One for the tile itself and one for being dominant if it's in the belly of your parrotfish. Nom, 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 nom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
All right. So right now, yellow is sad because the max yellow could ever be worth now is worth 4 points, since this one is permanently going to be recessive to orange. So it works in the inverse of the dominant color as well. All right. So that's how we're going to be flipping these. All right. Easy enough. Let's flip these back so I don't forget to do so later on. All right. Now, how do players grow the coral reefs themselves so that they can at least partially or potentially be worth more points? As an action on a player's turn, players can play tiles of a color to either add to an existing reef that is either unclaimed, so you'll notice all of these start unclaimed, except this one is now claimed, whereas if Jess has this shrimp, let's say it were like so, adding to a reef, my options are I can add to any unclaimed reef out here on the board. I can add to a reef that I have claimed as long as it is of the matching color, or I can start a brand new reef of whatever color it is that I'm placing out there. What I cannot do is I cannot interfere with Jess's reef here. She has orange here, so I cannot add on to Jess's orange reef, nor would I ever want to and feed her points. She's going to do a good enough job of getting her own. I don't need to help her. All right, so let me give a couple of examples of how this works. So we're gonna skip the payment process of this, but let's say I have some white coral right here. So I choose to go ahead and place these out here on the board. So my options are I could add to this coral reef here. Okay, easy enough. Like so. If I wanted to, I could also add on to any of these other white ones, or if I wanted, let's say over that, I could start a new reef right here if I want, and then later on my turn, maybe I come over and I protect my reef like so. Okay? That's literally as simple as it is. A player is going to place polyp tiles directly adjacent, if they do so, I should say, directly adjacent to a starfish space. So you'll notice each board nearest the center has one starfish space. If that starfish space is uncovered, you place a polyp tile next to it these bonus tiles then come into play. So whatever color you just placed that's adjacent to it, oh, hey, look at that. You automatically get a free growth or a free tile placed onto that location. All right. However, if, for instance, with this being a starfish space, if somebody then later on comes through and builds a black here, it is covered up. You can't see it, ergo, you do not get the bonus tile there. And these will automatically refill once they're taken, okay? Any questions on the starfish or actually building a reef out here and expanding on your reef? Any questions on that so far?
Nope.
All right, moving on. Now that you've grown your reef a bit, you likely don't want others to just come and take it, so you can claim it by placing one of your shrimp onto any unclaimed reef on the board, kind of like what I showed you with the reef down here. On your turn, not only can you place one additional shrimp, you also can move this shrimp anywhere on the board that I wish. But this is a pretty big reef. I would like to protect it. To be able to do so, you place it on any available tile of that color. It protects every directly adjacent space and the one it's on. So it protects a 5-space cross, if you will. So if I were to place him right here, he is directly protecting those 3 and those 3, so those 5. Does that make sense?
No diagonals.
Okay, exactly, orthogonally adjacent only, okay? Now, if I place him here, he's actually only protecting 3 spaces, there, and there, but it potentially protects it against this intrusive orange because you'll notice that orange is more dominant than white. Whereas if I place it here, even though he's protecting my reef, no one else can claim this reef, other coral can start nibbling at the edges of that reef, okay? There is a limit of 2 shrimp per tile per player. So I cannot place a 3rd one out here. If I want, I can place a 3rd and a 4th anywhere else out here, but only 2 per player per board. And same color reefs must keep a buffer of 1 adjacent space between them. Otherwise, you don't know whose reef that particular polyp belongs to. So what does that kind of look like? Well, for instance, if somebody were to build a reef out here with those are not orthogonally adjacent, so those are a separate reef out here. And now you'll notice that this space and this space both must permanently be kept separate. They cannot be built white. They could be built other colors, but they cannot be built white because otherwise we don't know who owns that reef. I should say, as long as it's like that. If it's unclaimed, oh, hey, looky there, he just became part of my reef. Nom, nom, nom,
You can
nom,
liberate
nom.
it.
Exactly. But if, say, Jess, in this case, has her shrimp there, well, now neither of us can build in those locations because who owns that? Was it hers? Was it mine? We don't know, and the game has no memory. That makes sense?
And we can't take over that pink either.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, good call. All right. All right, now let's get into some of the aggressive part of this game, and that is talking about coral dominating other coral and consuming it. Earlier, we went over how each coral will either be dominant or recessive to one another. Well, if you have 2 coral that are adjacent to one another, say like right here, one's going to be dominant over the other and can start to consume it, assuming it's not in that 5-space safe halo from the opponent's shrimp. When you're laying tiles, a coral must be at least 2 polyps big before it can start consuming a coral it's dominant over. But let's say it's Jess's turn, and she says, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and start laying some orange polyps, and you know what, I'm going to go ahead and continue building on this reef. Well, we take a look over here, we see that currently orange is dominant over white, and my 5-space area is right there, whereas this one is free. So Jess might do something like, say, here, and then she can place another eating, or I should say consuming that. This is very important. This tile that comes from any of the reef boards goes in front, that was impressive, goes in front of your player board or in front of your player screen. So now, where can she build this last one? Well, she has a number of options. She could build in either of these 2 spaces. She cannot take over either of those because that is protected directly by my shrimp. Or she could place in any of these two spaces or in this one. And we take a look. Oh, wait. Orange is also dominant over yellow. So she might do something like, there we go. Don't mind if I do. Right there. Okay.
Just a correction, not here because it's not adjacent.
Fair point.
to the
All right, good
porch.
call. Right, you can't go there, but there, or taking over the yellow, and she likes free tiles, so taking over
tiles
the
are
yellow.
good.
All right. Okay. Any tiles consumed this way, I'm stressing this, go in front of a player's screen. A good way to remember this is any tile taken off of this board goes in front. If it's taken anywhere else, from anywhere else, it goes behind your screen. Okay? Mm-hmm. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Those are kind of the core basics before we go over the actual actions, and actually that's the meat of the game right there.
Yeah.
All right? All right. So now that we have those concepts are clear, let's go over how the game is actually played. The game's played over an indeterminate number of rounds, with one player taking their entire turn before play passing to the next player in clockwise order. This continues until one of 4 things happens to trigger the end of the game. Realistically, though, it's going to be one of 2 things that happens. All the coral strength tiles are locked. One player has fed their parrotfish all 4 times, i.e. they've eaten all 4 of their shrimp, or in the more likely instances, there are no legal place to place a polyp tile, or the supply runs up out of one of the colors of larva cubes. Then usually all players are going to take, other than the player who triggered it, will take one last action or one last feeding. And then players add up their scores. Whoever scores the most points wins. During the game, however, each player has 10 options on their turn, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually really intuitive once you get going. There are some conditions on them, but let's go ahead and go over what the 10 options are. All right. So option number 1, feed your parrotfish or eat coral. Option number 2 and option number 3 are the exact same. Build coral out on the board. Option number 4, place a shrimp onto the board. Option number 5 is move a scrimp. Scrimp kebab, scrimp scampi. Okay. Number 6, buy a larva cube. Option number 7 is place an algae disc. Option number 8 is buy a polyp tile. Option number 9, cricket, do nothing, pass. And option number 10, which really isn't an option, you're always going to do this as your last action. Easy for me to say, draft a larva cube and polyp tiles. Option number 1, if a player chooses to do it, as I said, must be the very first thing you do on a turn. Option 10 is going to be the last thing that you do on your turn. Other than that, 2 through 9 can be done in any order that the player wishes. Some of these you'll notice are limited, and there are other things that are limited that are not shown on this. However, that said, let's go ahead and go over them now. Option number 1, feeding your parrotfish. We basically have covered this already. You can only do this once per turn. Choose one of your shrimp, protecting a coral reef. Normally, this is going to be roughly 6 to 8 tiles big, on average. Discard the first 4 back into the bag, take the others, put it into your parrotfish itself, into the belly. If it's the first time feeding, the shrimp goes onto the open seaboard. Otherwise, it goes into the belly of the parrotfish, and you must say what?
Nom, nom, nom,
There you go. All right. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 and option number 3, basically the meat of the game right here. This is building reefs. We've already talked about how to do that. As you can see, you can do this up to 2 different times as independent actions. Excuse me. Spend 1 matching larva cube back to the supply of the same color of the coral you wish to build. So what does that mean? Well, first time we're really talking about these larva cubes. Well, right here, you have to have a larva cube in which to be able to build coral to place out on the board, okay? So you spend this back to the supply, so it would go back into here, and then you're allowed a maximum of 4 polyp tiles of that same matching color from behind your screen. So you'll notice I have 6 here. I could do up to 4 there, and in addition to that, I can take any number, unlimited number of the same color tiles. In this case, I only have 1 from in front, and then Go forth, young man, and build a reef. Well, okay, I can add on to these. I can start a new reef over here. But again, following the rules, I have to keep a one buffer space if I choose to build an orange over here. I would place them out there. Easy enough, okay? If a player wishes to do this again, they can do so following the same steps in building or adding on to a second reef. It can be the same color or a different color. So for instance, if I did have a second larva cube of orange, I then could place my last 2 that I had, because remember I could only take 4 in a single action. Well, my other option here is I have a white cube, but I have no white tiles back here. And I have no white tiles up here. But if I did, I could then spend this cube to add that 1 tile, or if it were back here, do the exact same thing. Not really efficient, but you can do so. So that can be done up to twice. Any questions on building reefs?
No.
All right, cool. All right. Moving on to option number 4 now, which is placing a scrimp on the board. You're limited to once per turn. So you start out with all 4 shrimp. Back behind here, you take a shrimp from behind your screen and add it onto any unclaimed reef on the board. Boom. Sure, I can do that. Easy enough. Okay. Option number 5. Move a shrimp. This, however, is unlimited. Unlike placing a shrimp, you can move them freely all over the board with really only one exception. You choose one of your shrimp, move it to any unclaimed reef. Well, I wouldn't, but if I chose to, I could come over and say, claim that one with that. Or, let's say, in this instance, let's say it were like so. And I had both of these reefs here. During a build action, again, orange being dominant over white, currently I have this shrimp protecting those 5 tiles with this reef. Well, orange, if, let's say, it were something like this, orange is worth more than white currently. Orange is worth 3 per, because it's 2 dominants plus 1 per tile, whereas white's only worth 1 per tile plus 1, so it's worth more, orange is. So maybe I take all those aforementioned tiles that I was going to build earlier, maybe I just move this shrimp off temporarily, and then I start building and consuming all this white out here, and then I could place this shrimp back out here, or maybe I place him there after all these have turned orange. Does that make sense? I can freely do so. You can move shrimp, your shrimp, as much as you want, unlimited on your turn. Okay? Cool. All right. So, not to belabor it, let's move on. Step number 6, buying a larva cube. You are allowed to do this a maximum of 2 times. Notice it does not say that on the player aid. You can exchange any polyp tile in front of your screen for a larva cube of the same color and then immediately perform a build. So, if you've already built twice this turn, you cannot do this action because you are only allowed to build 2 times. This is a rule that got added in after the fact that people were just hoarding larva cubes. You are not allowed to do that anymore. So for instance, you'll notice I don't have any black. But what I could do is I could turn in this black polyp, I'm sorry, call it gray, to then be able to claim that, and then I immediately must build with it. So I'm allowed to take up to 4 from behind. I can take as many as I want from in front. I then turn this back in to the supply, and then I can go ahead and start building out here, maybe something like so. But all of a sudden, if I do that, I'm only allowed 2 shrimp per tile, per board. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. You get the idea, though. Any questions on that? Moving on. All right, step number 7 is placing an algae disc. Well, I showed you the mechanisms on how to do that earlier. It's unlimited, sort of. You spend any color polyp tile from in front of your screen. It doesn't matter what color. So maybe I spend this yellow polyp tile back into the bag. Then, if you wish to lock a tile and you have a shrimp already out here, you choose what color algae, you lock that one if you wish, then you flip the other associated colors. If you don't have a shrimp out there, or even if you do have a shrimp out there, if you wish to just flip colors, you place it here, throw in the other, if there's an existing one back into the supply, you place it out there and you flip those colors. Placing here is unlimited, or I should say it's only limited to the number of tiles that a player has in front of their screen. That is unlimited. However, locking a tile itself, that can only be done once per turn. So that locking is once, this is unlimited on a turn. That makes sense? All right, so that is placing an algae disc. Option number 8 is buying a polyp tile. You're not going to see this done a whole lot. This is a desperate measure. You're allowed to do this an unlimited number of times. You discard a larva cube and take a matching color polyp tile from the bag, place it behind your screen. Easy enough. Okay, moving on. Number 9, pass. Do nothing. Okay, good.
We know how to do that.
That's real simple. And then option number 10, I say option, it's really not. It's compulsory. I wouldn't really say it's compulsory, but there's no reason you will never not do
That's
this.
how that's your resource to play the game.
Exactly.
You must take
You're
money
going
from the
to
bank.
exactly. You're going to do this here. So draft a larva
It's like you
cube.
pass go and you don't take $200.
I don't want your $200.
All right. So draft in a larva cube and a polyp tile. This action is the last thing a player does on their turn. Even if they pass, they still are going to do this. Okay. So they're going to choose one of the 5 available larva cubes and take all of the associated polyp tiles. These are random draws from the bag. So if I choose, say, this one, I would take all the tiles, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 tiles, and the larva cube. That would then come back here, back into my supply. All right. Then we're going to refill with whatever color larva cube that was. And then from the bag, we are going to then place 1 tile, starting there, and then going clockwise, following the arrows here, which are conveniently covered up. Every place that does not have 3 tiles, we're going to add 1 more tile randomly to it, and there you go. And that's the end of a player's turn. At game end, or the game ends, players are going to continue taking turns until the game ends, until the game end is triggered. Woo! Usually in one of 2 ways, as I mentioned. All of the coral strength tiles are locked, or one player has fed their parrotfish a 4th time. When either of those things happen, all of the other players take 1 additional turn, only feeding. So in other words, if I had these 2, I would feed with, say, this one. However, instead of the first 4 polyp tiles of the reef being eaten and returned to the supply, for this feeding at the end of the game, the first 5 are discarded back to the bag, then everything else. That's the penalty for coming in after the game has been triggered.
The parrotfish are sloppy, even sloppier when they have
rushing.
to eat fast.
They're rushing.
Yeah, they rush into the end game.
Now I'm picturing a drill instructor, parrotfish, ordering them at the chow hall. Never mind. Well, all right, moving on. All right,
Eating
cool.
out. Hurry.
Yeah, hurry. Okay. The game can also end if there's no legal placement of a polyp tile or if players cannot refill larva cubes. And I'll be honest, the rule book doesn't say what happens at that point. I'm going to go under the assumption the game ends immediately. Nobody gets in feeding, no nothing. It's not clear. And I don't know the answer to that, so I apologize. Players then reveal the contents of the parrotfish's belly and score whatever they've eaten. Each tile eaten, again, 1 to 5 points based on the coral strength tile with a base value of 1. Whoever has the most valuable portfolio from their parrotfish's belly wins. I mean, really, that's what it is a portfolio of your belly contents, isn't it? Really?
This is
So
true.
you're,
Go ahead.
so
What?
you're saying this is a hidden train game?
Oh, it totally is. If tied, most consumed polyp tiles still in front of your screen, not spent, is the first tiebreaker. Number of unplayed larva cubes is the second one. Number of unplayed polyp tiles. Then number of polyp tiles in reefs protected by remaining shrimp. And if you're still tied, you deserve to be tied, and your game ends as a tie.
Good
And
luck
that's
in
it.
reaching that.
You're right, seriously. And that, folks, is how you play Reef Encounter. There we go. See, simple. Easy peasy. Here we go. Let's bring it back. Now I have to shrink this screen so we cannot see each other's stuff. So that is out of the way. Any questions locally? Any questions from the hidden or the peanut gallery?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay, cool. All right, I need to reset everything, so bear with me. So what did we have? We started here. So it should have been, you know what?
This is fine.
Yes.
3, 3, 3, 2, 1. That works. We'll leave it there. Let me throw all of these. I need to help me out resetting this board here, guys. So let's see. And you'll notice that there is a particular place where these come in. That stays there, there. Tiles. Thank you.
Yeah, this one
Okay.
just doesn't need
All right.
an advantage.
No, she does not. All right, so now let me go. Oh, you know what? Before I actually shrink that a moment, y'all, because I need to be able to see where to put my stuff.
To
so
make
you
sure
guys-
they can follow.
Right, so you guys can see everything. Let me put out my line of shrimp
The
that we're
line of
using.
shrimpage.
Yes, the line of shrimpage. There we go. So this way I know, you know what? You guys don't need to see that at this point. So
No?
those are not going to be limited. There we go. Do not place above these shrimp is basically what this is. The line of
Demarcation.
there. Those
Or
can,
the audience's
whatever.
line of sight.
There you go. And so I can play, oh, you guys need to be able to see parrotfish. Parrotfish Bay will go right.
You need space in front
Or
of
do
your
they need to
screen.
see-
And I will place mine here.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
Yes.
Cool. That
let's
works
do
for
it.
you. Everybody can see everything. Let's shrink this down now. All right. So, cool. All right. So for the beginning, I actually need to, we need to draft or draw based on
The start
Schwazi.
player.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah, Schwazi.
It is 6, 7, 8, 9, starting with the start player. There we go. I appreciate that, Scott. He was playing tug of war with his dog with an octopus.
Yay.
All right, so Greg starts with 6 tiles. 7, 8, 9 goes around, and then after we have done that, we're going to choose 2 of the larva cubes to put behind our screens, and then we begin.
Then we eat one.
Oh yes, and then we secretly eat one. That is true.
6, right? That was
Yes.
perfect amount.
Okay, in the Z-Man rules, the
Yeah.
other players only get a final turn, and if it's in the traditional likely way that that's going to happen.
Oh, so you were right. It's
Okay,
immediate.
There you go. All right, that works. There we go.
And
And
I guess
8
that's
for
the
you.
sort of punishment for ending it the wrong
Yeah.
way.
Right. You have screwed up. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. There we go.
Can you see my?
I can see
kind
Edwards.
of,
I'm
yeah.
trying not to.
I'll definitely
Yeah, having the
Yeah.
audience see it makes it a little
Hold
less
on.
hidden.
Here.
but-
It's not so hidden.
Oh well.
How's? All right.
Now I can see.
You can now?
Yeah.
Well, okay. We're just going to try and be honest. Be on the honor system here, guys.
I can, ignore that
I'll just
information.
play like this. The whole
That's,
Yeah.
you know what? They don't. No, because that blocks it off. Shoot.
It's okay. I mean, honestly, as long as I don't consider, I don't have to
Yeah.
sit there and be like, oh, he has
Yeah,
that,
I'm-
so
yeah,
now
I
I'm
don't
gonna,
think it-
I'm just
I don't
gonna
think
not
any of
worry
us
Plus, to
about
be
that.
honest, it's kind of hidden trackable, except
It
the
is.
initial
It is.
draw.
And that's something that Chris
So
had
there's-
mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
There's so
it's
much
HTI. You can-
HTI.
There's a
Yeah.
little
Hidden
bit.
trackable
So
information.
Right.
place your bet on your winners, and the over/under on number of Glory to Roams was set at 7 in the Slack for tonight.
I
So-
think that's fair.
Now choose 2.
What are you planning, Greg?
And then,
He's going to consume 7.
so he's choosing white and orange. Okay, this is public info. I'm going to choose pink and gray. Okay. Jess?
Yellow and pink, please.
Okay.
I'll take pink and gray.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. All right. So now everybody needs to choose one of their tiles to secretly choose to eat. So there we go. Okay. Everyone eating?
Oh, pick one to eat.
Yes. All right. Yes, step 1, pay the privates.
and-
Exactly. Oh, yeah. And all these, also, some of these, or
Not
not
some,
all
all
of
of them.
these, have a starfish on the flip
The
side.
blue algae off.
And we flip these,
Oh,
and one of them came up blank, so no starfish. Those, so that's what they start
They
with.
all have to be on the
Right.
same side.
Either starfish or no starfish. There we go.
2 shrimps on
All right, he's betting two shrimp.
Betting.
Two shrimp.
Betting. You're like, what?
Yeah, we can put the shrimp on your
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah. So you're like, but what I do? I just...
All right, so Greg, begin. You have
right.
10
That's it.
options. Well, technically you have 9 because you can't feed.
Right.
Technically
So-
1, because that's what you're gonna do.
Right.
You lay coral.
So going there. Going there.
No,
Sorry.
don't do that because you get the...
I
Yeah.
get the free one.
Can I have
it.
the bag?
You may,
Thanks.
I suppose.
Wow.
Going there.
Neat.
Eating that. Which I've been told is a good move.
Someone said once.
Honestly, these are in the way. We're not going to run out of these cubes. We're just not.
Yeah.
We promise.
Yes.
Now it's going to jinxed us at this point. That's clearly how this is going to end.
That's my strategy.
We'll all go after the
That's
same
why
color.
you said 7. You're like, uh-huh.
And I'm gonna grab this guy.
All right, done?
Yes.
All right, so we need another weight that comes out, and then we start restocking. So we restock 1 here going clockwise. That has less than 3. 3, 3. That's it. There we go. Okay, so I am up. So I'm looking at what pink is dominant over. Pink is dominant over orange and yellow. Okay, that's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. So I am going to discard this pink cube. I am going to go ahead and place a maximum of 4 from behind, and I'm going to go ahead and place 1 there, which then gets
The freebie?
the freebie there. And pink is dominant over orange, and it's dominant over yellow. So I have 2 different directions that I could go, assuming that I want to eat that, and
And you do.
I do. So I will go ahead and come up here and go there as well. This goes in front of my screen there. I will then choose, place that there, and because gray and white are both dominant over pink, as shown here and here, so I'm trying to protect it a little bit from those. And do I wish to build anything else? Choices.
Hint, no.
Yeah, right.
Because you can only place 1 shrimp. So
Exactly, right. So now what
So in
I'm,
the first turn, you really have 1 clear option.
right, to build and
Build
hopefully
one
try
thing.
and take
Yeah,
some.
build
You're
one thing and
welcome
go.
to help me out with a reef. I am fine with it.
So looking at the board, I'm looking at both the larva cubes as well as the actual tiles themselves. And honestly, quantity of tiles, I feel like at this point is probably more important than the exactly what tiles, and looking at what cubes. I'm okay going this route right here. So I will take those, I will refill this, and Jess, it is your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said, not glory to Rome. Desmond said it, but glory to Reef.
Nice. I'm going to spend that.
3.
Oh my.
These are going to come out. I get a free yellow. Thanks, Greg.
I can see him.
I'm going to eat this guy and place here. That goes in front. That's going to go there.
It's a good placement.
I think. Maybe. We shall see. I think that's all I'm doing.
All right. And
What do I want?
Draft.
Yeah. That's not bad.
It's a lot of gray.
That seems better.
Yeah, I don't know if it was clear from the teach yet to the audience, but having those tiles in front of your screen is very important.
it's a currency, essentially. Here, if you want. You can
Yeah,
mark
tiles
it.
from
I
behind the
can reach.
screen only do one thing. You just place them. Tiles from in front, you either place, trade them in for cubes,
Yeah.
or trade them in for cylinders.
Correct.
So they're multi-use and more, therefore more valuable.
There we go.
So eating other or consuming
Yep.
other coral is important. Therefore, we all try to do that on our first turn.
Correct.
I don't
will
know.
be
I did not.
placing
last
gray.
game.
last game, but
I didn't
still
do it
won,
till the
right?
end. Yeah,
okay.
and I only lost 2 by 1 point. So I'm just
And
saying.
I actually
right,
didn't do
that's
it on
right.
my first turn either.
Right, and I'm thinking it's.
I'll
I think
place
it's a
here,
little
I'll
bit
get
of a
the
balance
freebie
on
here.
that.
And gray can consume pink. So
There you
I'll
go.
do that. And
Now, when you don't
protect it
have to say
with-
nom nom nom.
Right, because it is not your parent.
It's just a
Right.
creeping
That's a
reef.
consumption of
I feel like
it.
that's pretty quiet. It's just a like.
Sorry, you're right. I'm foregoing my benefit.
Yeah, you
right
just
there.
talked about this. Put it right in front.
That's funny.
Consume them. Get them. No.
Ooh, interesting options there. Good ones here. I'll take orange.
All right, great. If you guys are enjoying this, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Oh, wow, bunch of white. Also, if you want to support the show, check it out over at pledgehc.com. Definitely appreciate it, y'all. Very much so. I'm like, what is this? Oh, that's mine in French. Right, yeah, let's not
That's
get
gonna be
rid of
rough.
So
that.
all starfish have been filled.
Yes.
So I'm thinking I want to protect my white, and the best way to do that might be by taking over the orange.
eating it.
Myself, no one can eat it if I'm the one who eats it. But I'm not going to start off like that. Orange larvae. Thing. Go there, eat that. Yeah, if I go here. Well, if I go here, it's a little better, I think.
Are you going to place a script?
I am going to place a script.
Yeah, I don't think you ever want to build a reef of 4 tiles without placing a shrimp.
I would be inclined to agree with you.
And
Interesting. Well, there went that idea. I actually was planning on passing to take that one.
Wow.
But not now.
Did other people do stuff on their turns?
Right? Seriously.
That's
All right, that's it. That's right. There we go.
the synergy of yellow cube and yellow tile, though, is muy caliente.
That is nice.
But it's just one.
But it's just one.
Maybe there'll
Yeah,
be
you want
another
that.
yellow for just.
Well, that changes that. All right. So looking around the board. Gray, orange, purple. I mean, I could eat that, but it's only worth 1 pink polyp right now, which seems less than ideal, honestly. So I think what we will do instead is I'm going to pass, and I'm going to just take that. And
Thumb drive.
right,
Thumb drive.
There we go.
Hit those thumbs.
Yes, or as some of the more obnoxious YouTubers that I have come across out there, smash that like button. And I'm like, whoa,
Smash the like button, ring the bell.
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's funny.
I watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, I do. Too.
Yeah.
Mind you,
Don't we all?
So what I've
No.
noticed, almost all of my YouTube watching time is usually either like laying down, decompressing for the night or whatever. It's usually neither of which is really terribly great for going to sleep on. One
Right.
is watching cooking or food travel stuff. Great, so I'm starving when I go to bed after watching some stuff. Watch some amazing Chinese.
Maybe
hot
maybe
pot
I'll just go to the
yesterday.
fridge to sample something.
Exactly, right? And the other is the poker stud vloggers out there, Andrew Nemi, Brad Owen, Jamin Burton, stuff like that. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I watch on YouTube, it seems.
Well, watching anything before you go to bed is not really good for sleep.
I know.
Don't tell me.
But
that.
we
It's too late.
but we all do that.
It's too late. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
happening no matter what.
Well, at least that's what I tell my kid. And I can't contradict that here, right?
As I say,
he might
as
watch
I
this
do.
on YouTube.
Exactly. That's funny.
I'm seeing if there's another option because I feel like what I want to do is a little mean. So give me.
Oh, so definitely do that.
Do that.
Absolutely. As long as
You
you're
might
not
not
looking
say that in a
here.
second.
Oh, she
I am.
actually is looking
Yeah.
very
So I'm gonna
intently
trade
over there.
this for
Okay.
this.
So trading that in.
and then use
And
that
purchasing the gray larva cube.
to use.
And using
And
it.
yeah, she's going to eat one of my
This
tiles.
is-
Yeah.
Chomp.
That's not
Some
bad.
things.
It's not that bad.
No, that's fine.
Just
See?
nibbling at the
It's
edges.
fine.
You were not going to eat that anyway.
You don't need it. Just go like that.
Ooh,
I see a pattern.
very nice.
No one can touch right now. You can't eat me. All right, that was
no,
that.
we cannot.
Not yet, you can't. Let's see. You can try to plan ahead.
Yeah, but then come the other
Do I want to
players
do this
and ruin
yet?
it.
I don't think. Well,
I forgot what I had in front.
that's annoying. But there's no other way to go about that.
Oh.
Or this. Nope, I don't want to do that yet. Okay, I'm going to wait on that. So what do I want over here? That's not good. These colors aren't lining up for me. Well, if I make really interesting faces, I know.
Come on.
I know.
Can't kelp ourselves.
All right, I'll do this one.
All right.
And let's go ahead and start the GTR log. Thank you, Jess.
Good. I did the right
Hold on,
thing.
it doesn't count unless you say
You
it.
do have to say it.
GTR.
No.
Now you gotta say it out.
Glory to Rome.
There you go. Or glory to Reef.
Right.
Because it
Glory
works.
to-
In
no.
my case, real estate market here on the reefs is not so good. It's all underwater.
I like the tank in this game.
Yeah.
Then you're
Yeah,
just
I
an
think
aquarium.
I'm gonna do that now.
No, I think things are going swimmingly.
I like this video for the halibut.
By the way, Desmond, this might not be on purpose, but if anybody has ever listened to "Wet Dream" by it's a old. I'm trying to think of who the artist was on it. I would listen to it late at night on. It's not Weird Al. I can't. Now I can't think of the DJ. I am terrible.
I don't know what to do for you. I have no idea where you're going with this. I got no directionality. My compass is off.
I'll get there.
Okay,
I'll get there.
well, think about it. Listen, this game seems so fish-ticated.
I don't think I can figure it out.
It's all going to change. So
Yeah.
oh, you know what? You know what might help? I think we have the wrong ones of these.
Oh,
That's the problem.
The problem. I didn't.
That's it.
That's
We just
the
need
problem.
to switch.
yeah.
So is
We
that
all
yours?
had the wrong.
Yeah,
that it?
this is
Oh,
a
there.
green.
Oh, there we go. Now.
Okay.
That's so much better.
There you go. In that case,
Oh,
I'll just do the.
I
pink.
couldn't make heads or tails of it, but
I-
now that I have.
Now that it's
There we
yellow,
go.
I got
we're
it.
good.
There we go.
All right.
Dr. Demento?
Thank you, Dr. D. Yes.
I love
One
that
here.
they knew that.
Oh, I knew they would.
No,
I
I
had
can't eat
no
that
idea
one.
where you were going. with
No,
that.
I didn't either. Now I do.
Like, I heard none of the words you said.
When you're
Same,
done,
Greg.
when you're done with this, Google Dr. Demento Wet Dream. Or just indulge.
Here,
It's hysterical.
one,
It makes something like 70 different
two,
fish references.
and then
hysterical.
Nice.
yellow and orange.
That seems shellfish.
Go in front and let's place it. Purple shrimp. I couldn't place the green shrimp. I didn't
There
understand
you
what
go.
to do there.
That's- all right, cool.
All right.
All right,
And
and
I will take this one.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Greg. Hey, Mark. Hi.
It's good to remember what you have in front of you. White cube.
Wait. Now we have Mark 5 and Mach 5.
No, that's his
I
other.
know, but-
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if that's better protected.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I think where it is going to hit the most. Yeah. I'm basically saying invest a lot if you want to deal with this. But
That sounds legit.
I wanted to. Alas, I am not. Go ahead.
oh yeah, I got a draft now. That's part of the game.
It is.
You should.
I've been told.
I would
Just don't
recommend.
take what I want.
All right.
Wow, there's white and orange in almost everyone.
So I had a plan the whole time. I think I'm going to stay on target with it. So I'm going to turn this in for a orange larva cube. There. Then I have to immediately spend said larva cube. And I will go ahead and place these 3 orange. Orange is dominant over white and yellow, which I could come over and nibble on some. It's dominant over white and yellow. So
So you have
as
white and
much
yellow.
as I really do want to come over here and
Nibble.
oh, actually, I can't do what I want to do.
Because
Here,
you need to spend.
exactly. You have to have 2 polyp tiles before you can take over any other color. So I can't. I could go 1, 2, or 1, 2, and then eat one of them, but I can't eat.
But
the
you couldn't
second
do
one.
1,
You can
2,
save it for
3,
later, though.
Correct. I could,
which is what you wanted to do.
or I could come over and see my friend Greg
Yeah, and kind of just
Well, it's
nibble around.
limit
the edges.
his
poke me for
stock
one
options.
or help you grow.
Right, and so I think honestly,
No, it's the same thing because if he only eats one,
but
it
I
might
will
as well
be
be
able
yours.
to eat another.
Yeah, you'll
And
be
he
able
will
to.
be
Who
able to-
knows?
and he won't be able to grow orange too far
So,
in that direction.
I'm going to go there. It's just which do I wish to
Oh,
go
I
ahead
see,
and
yeah.
consume? And looking at this, I think I will go ahead and consume.
Yeah, that seems
guy
to make the most sense.
there. So
That's
that will
good.
go there. There.
I approve all of that.
Do I wish to do anything else? I placed the shrimp, so I cannot place a second shrimp this turn. So I think that's all I'm gonna do. And looking out here, I just ate a yellow. I have a yellow. There's a yellow and a yellow. A lot of yellow. Let's go yellow.
There's a yellow synergy.
Yep, there you go. All right, done. J-Rex? Or is it J Marlin tonight?
I don't know.
Yeah, J Marlin.
Oh, goodness.
There you go. I mean, they are random. I mean, it's...
I prefer
So
the
you
lantern
keep telling
fish.
us?
Okay.
Squishy.
There you go, Desmond. Heavy cardboard, my favorite gaming grouper.
Haha.
No floundering, Edward.
Oh. I know that, but until I do that, I can't.
One thing I will say is tomorrow's stream. Tomorrow I'm
I'm gonna
doing,
pass. Do this.
All right. Doing Cruel Necessity. If I win, or you know, I have 2 results. I win or the game wins because it's a solo game. So I have a better chance at that than I probably do this tonight.
You know what's rough about streaming
Wow.
a solo game?
wow.
What?
You can't cheat.
That's true.
Yeah, because people
It's
are
Ruffy. Orange Ruffy. No. Okay. Never mind.
I'm gonna have to pass and take this.
If you didn't,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait.
Yep. I'm actually off camera here. Gonna just make sure these are all scrambled up.
Yeah, so you seem to be.
I mean, they were pretty well mixed beforehand, but I don't know, just random distribution as it so
Well,
happens.
you're pulling them
Right.
around, so
Right.
So I don't want to poke the bear. So I think
better safe than sorry.
All right, so you're eating.
I'm
We have
eating.
our first consumption.
so.
Excuse me? You're eating.
Oh no!
Thank you. All right.
What? Oh no! Because I'm.
4
coral
go back.
monster. C is for coral, which is good enough for me.
And we have the first shrimp on the open sea.
Here we go.
All right, that was part 1 of my action turn.
Which must be done first thing you do, which you did.
Does orange automatically get a freebie?
No.
No,
No.
you have to
You
place.
have, yeah, it's only
to
the
fill it.
action of placing.
That'd be really nice.
Well, it depends if you were red or not, which I'm not, so no, it wouldn't be really nice. I disagree.
Oh, hey, you know what I can do? Put a pink down. I've got 2 from behind and 1 from in front. Whoop. Now I get the pink. For free. And then go here and here. Place another scrimp.
And shrimp it.
Apparently I'm playing a solo game.
For now.
I'll take the orange cube with the orange disc, because that's
Orange polyp, you mean?
orange polyp. I call them discs. That doesn't even make sense.
It didn't, but I was letting it go, dude. It really was. There we go. Okay.
Eric, you get the round discs by spending one of the polyps in front of your thing, and then just
Picking your color.
picking your color you like. There's 4 to choose from. Ah, these 4.
I think we can fathom, Brian. We are seeing exactly how deep your puns sink.
Yeah. At least I think we can handle the pressure.
Ba-dum-bumps.
That was maybe I need to find a better angler.
It ain't getting better. Man, this sucks. 4, 6, 2. Really hate doing that. White, no. Pink, no. Gray. Wow, that gray is awfully tempting. And gray is dominant over orange and pink.
Yeah, gray having 2 gray is pretty good.
Am I really considering? No. We're going to go ahead and spend a yellow. Taking 3 from behind and 1 from in front. Yellow is dominant over gray and white. So I cannot go over here because I can't protect it because I have 2 shrimp over there. But here and here, both solid options.
There's pretty good because you kind of threaten on Asher his gray.
Yep.
And not a lot of expense
Yeah,
there.
because it's... Yeah, I honestly, this is where I was leaning. So I think I will go 1, 2, 3, 4 there. That will go there. And as much as I would like some other stuff, I just feel like this is too good to pass up. That synergy is really, really tasty.
Yep. Cube and 2 tiles
Yep.
of the same color
Yeah,
is nice.
It's not terrible. So, krilling.
Now,
The
Desmond,
puns are krilling me.
the one thing
Ha.
that this game is lacking, in order to be thematically cohesive, is a nice layer of mucus.
So, tell us why you bring that up with our parrotfish, sir.
Because parrotfish apparently coat themselves with a layer of mucus to as like either a warning mechanism or just a way
To keep warm.
Yeah, it's like a cocoon, a protective cocoon. It kind of keeps their scent away from other predators,
Interesting.
but also it's they can feel it. So if someone gets too close, they can be like, "Oh no!"
I'm going to try this.
Maybe the shrimp are made out of mucus.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like doing it.
So, 2 separate builds there, spending your Oh, you bet.
Protection.
Hard to come in from behind if. And are you leaving your shrimp there?
Nope.
That makes sense.
Very nice.
I think. I mean, it still can go this way, right?
Pink right now cannot.
Not
Consume
right
gray,
now,
but
but
yeah,
I really,
it's
really wanted to
possible.
make sure. This is a longer. I think I'm gonna.
No,
leave
it can't
it
go
there.
that way because there's a pink there.
Oh, right.
can
It
only
can't
go-
take that one
Yep, and you're
because
blocking
it would.
here. You're
Yeah,
safe.
I'm safe. That's what I was seeing last time
Yep.
because I was like, I thought I had that.
Yes, you did.
All right. So that was.
That's
What?
your two things.
I just don't want you flipping any tiles or doing anything.
Oh, I guarantee I was going to. That's where these.
I
come
saw
in
you had a
handy.
thing,
Oh, yeah.
but now, but you have to eat first too. But you might.
No, not to flip, to lock.
Oh,
you have to
right,
eat to
right.
lock.
That's true. But well, now you won't be tempted to try to hurt me.
I mean, I could just lock it just out of spite.
You could. I'm okay with this.
That's
it doesn't
really mean, though. Why would I do that?
because you're Greg. And what
Keep
do I
your
want
friends
over
close
here?
and your enemies closer.
Anemones. What did I want over here? I want that. That's good. That would be better.
I was thinking of opening up this store that was going to be focusing on camping gear and orcas.
And orcas.
Yeah, it's going to be called For All Intents and Purposes.
Yeah. Well done.
All right, Asher.
A lot of people think orcas are whales too.
No.
They're not whales. They're porpoises.
I actually have told that pun quite a few times and stuck on orcas because people kept correcting me.
Yes. Yes.
I was going to say, isn't a porpoise a dolphin?
And orcas are also dolphins.
Are
They're,
they?
well, they're
Giant, or
they're
in the
porpoises.
family? Or
They're a porpoise.
Okay.
They are not a whale.
I did not know that.
It's
Which is why
nicknamed killer whale, but they're
Sure,
not a
right.
whale.
Oh,
They're just really,
Interesting.
really
Yeah.
big
Porpoises.
Yes, which is, and dolphins will
I
fight
wonder
them.
if they were named that on purpose.
Oh, the humanity. Oh, so well done, so well done.
30 seconds per pun. Yikes, so much.
Chat
All
would
right.
go silent.
Orange.
Nice shot.
4 from behind. 1 from. Let me take that back. Before I do that,
Okay.
I will spend a yellow to buy red anemone.
Oh,
Okay.
Christopher Clark is
Or
even
red,
on it.
red
Algae.
Red algae. So red going here,
Yep. And flip the reds.
there, and there.
I like as you did it. Oh no.
All right. And now I can try again my orange shot. Take 4 from behind the screen and 1 from the front. And go into this corner over here.
It's Asher in the corner.
Consuming both pink and white.
Yep.
Oh.
Now
Yep.
that it's flipped. And posting a guard.
All right.
And let's take this one.
I was going to be upset, but then I was like, oh, wait a minute. The exact same tiles are right over there.
Depends if you want white or yellow cubes.
You know, oh, hey, maybe I want a gray cube.
Or that. Yeah, or that.
That's funny.
And or they think you shuffled them way too well.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They're
That's
all
not
the
like Ray
same.
at all.
Not bad.
Let me know how the banning thing goes. Let me know.
Have you had enough puns, or do you want some more?
This is excellent.
Uh-oh. My line of shrimpage is shrinking.
Yeah.
So my tiles are kind of creeping into the invisible
Chat
shade
will-
of
will
wall. Yeah.
Mull it over.
I can risk it. Oh,
Terrible.
that's why I don't play beer pong.
Oh, that's the reason.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
That's why I don't play bear pong.
Sure is keeping you up at night.
I can just picture Asher now. Why doesn't he play bear pong?
Yeah, like Edward said, before
He
sleep.
plays all these
That's-
games, and then,
Yeah, exactly.
but not beer pong.
I keep
Do you
watching the
actually-
streams.
Do you actually play with beer in the cups? Because I find that disgusting.
I have no
Why
idea.
would you
I
do
don't
that?
even-
It's water in the cups. Drink
I
from your
don't
beer.
even do water because even that's kind of gross. Because you just,
No, you don't drink it. It's
I
just
know you don't drink it. It's still kind of because your hands just get wet and it's just a whole thing. It's been a while since
That's very
college.
appropriate, I think, for heavy cardboard.
I'm just
beer
trying
pong.
to figure out my next turn.
Yeah, all those
We're buying you
sophisticated
some time with some
strategic
beer.
games.
So I actually play Quidditch pong, not beer pong. It's played
You're doing-
with beer.
when you
But
ride a broom?
make no, when I ride a broom, I make these things, and you have to throw through the Quidditch hoop to make it into makes it just
Okay.
level up on the beer pong.
Refill?
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're still deciding.
it.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, you got it.
Oh yeah, well I passed it.
So maybe then you would play it, Greg, if it was Quidditch pong.
I forget, why didn't you play?
That's when I play. No need to harbor a grudge.
All right. I'm going to spend this white to get a green algae.
Flip the greens.
Okay. Then I'm going to spend this pink cube to go ahead and place 2 pink. 1, 2, there.
So when you lock, you may flip the other ones, or you have
No,
to.
you have to.
That's terribleness.
You have to flip all of the same color.
That's awful.
Bar the one that you're locking if you can and do lock. Which of course is sometimes the one that you actually want to
Right?
flip.
Terrible.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4. What I'm debating is whether or not to
Jesse,
do that
that's
as
well
well.
done, Jesse. I have to swim now. Best fishes for the rest of the game.
I think that's all I'm gonna do. I think.
Is it?
God, I hate my options right now,
Do
honestly.
you?
I'm not in a good position. I really don't like what's out there, and I don't want to put that out yet. So what can we do? This isn't bad. So realistically, these are my 2 main options, I think. I think I'm going to go here.
Did you lay anything or you passed?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. I laid a couple of tiles
All
over
right.
there.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, right. You took the white.
there we go, done.
All right.
All right, final answer. J Flounder.
I'm going to eat. Nom 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 nom.
Yep.
Yeah,
You would.
I'm surprised.
Are you
Are
shocked?
you surprised?
Shock and
Yeah.
awe. Shock and awe.
So first 4 back into the...
Done.
And the other
This
This guy
4
goes over
into
here
the
and
belly.
joins Red. Look, we made Christmas.
Uh,
And then
Brian's on fire.
And Christopher had a good
Peering
one
into his
because it
jaw.
almost looks like a typo.
Nice.
what do we have out there?
But I'm upset that Jeremy beat me to the Jaws reference.
That's okay. I'm okay with that. All right, so I want to spend this to lock, but it's going to flip all the blue.
All right.
If
so-
you're locking blue.
Yeah, I want to lock that one. Yeah.
Okay,
and
so
I'm okay
that's
with the
locked,
rest.
so it flips all the other blues. We have our first lock of the game.
Goodness, Jess.
Sorry.
That changes
A lot of things.
a whole lot.
That
I hope
changes
you
the
had no
game.
plans.
What, me? No, I definitely wasn't going to do that exact... Actually, you know what? Glory to Rome. I was going to do the exact opposite, basically.
I assumed,
Yeah.
and wanted to not let that happen.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to build, but I need to see what's up
Assumed
there.
or consumed?
That I don't want. Okay, that one's fine, so I'll probably do that. Which means
How many of y'all at home have played Reef Encounter before, and
Spending.
how many have not? And are you able to follow along, making sense? Boy, you guys are in Jess's. Wow.
what? And then I'm
Yep.
gonna do this. Actually, this is gonna go here.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that is a good play.
Yeah, reserve the spot, and there is no danger from orange because it's locked out.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
And the one thing that can currently attack yellow is white, which can attack orange. So, yeah.
Oh yes, Brian. So
which
many.
one do I want?
Yeah, there's a reason
we're
Rita
technically
is up
right.
on the board.
Oh, Rita, yeah. This is all you guys.
Indeed.
What was the final tally for that game?
That
12.
was what I paid to do the lock.
Yeah, I feel like I'm treading water here.
Oh, I'm taking on water. I feel like the Edmund Fitzgerald right now.
Okay. I think there's a plan there. You just
I
said
feel like the
something
less
about
you plan,
white,
the better.
and I think that was a clue. So
don't
I
plan
will
so much.
pen that and flip the one you said you are doing there. So purple.
Okay. And which one?
Purple.
Oh, right. Can't lock yet.
Yep. So flip all them purples.
And welcome to chaos. Here we go. Well, the world looks a little bit different now.
And now I can spend my white cube.
Okay, go for
It's
it.
so weird how that works. That is really
4 from
interesting.
behind.
You either
One
love
from
this game because
Yeah,
of it
we
or hate
did
it.
not do much of that last time at
Oh,
all.
No, and it's
Wow.
weird
This
how the different
game,
color
yeah.
does the other, and it cartwheels, and it's, yeah,
So let's eat those
fine.
oranges.
I don't know how long the
Start
teach
over
was.
here.
40 minutes maybe total.
Yeah, it was in depth
Yellow.
because it's
Nibble,
interesting.
nibble, nibble.
Yeah. There you go.
There. Post a guard.
That's all of Asher's scrimps.
Yeah.
And
that's
FYI, yes,
all of
I
them
did
out there.
glue on googly
The eyes.
because you have to.
You must.
You're welcome, Eric.
This one.
Yeah, it seems
I heard it earlier today. Seems oddly thematic. Since the long lost crew of the Edmund Fitzgerald is now swimming with the fishes.
That's just sad.
It was, dude. It's a haunting song.
I-
It legitimately is.
I didn't hear it when you said it the first time because I was focusing, and now, yeah.
Now you're not focusing.
Now you're
anymore.
not focusing.
Now
All
I'm
right,
thinking about the sad folks in the...
Omer. If you can't beat him, join him. So he's on board with the puns now.
Yeah.
If you can't beat them, keep trying to beat them. Is it worth it eating the... Because I don't want to get too greedy. Cause
Don't get too greedy. I did. It was a bad plan.
Yeah. Well, you only wasted one. Whereas I feel like if I try to expand more, yeah, I'm just going to eat again. Which
Wow.
is a thing I said I didn't want to do.
Right?
Oh,
Right?
sorry.
Oh, don't worry.
How
The
things
bag will
change.
get it.
I
So,
was
there
going
we
to
go.
do the opposite. I was going to take the
Yeah.
3, and then you were like,
Give me.
I was like, all right, if you want.
Now, burst to the bag.
So Greg has already eaten
twice.
At least once, we know that.
Yeah, jeez.
No, we just saw the second one.
I know.
And
But
then
where's the fourth
Green's
one?
about to eat again, too.
So first, I'm
Oh.
going
No,
to spend a polyp
No.
No, you'll grow it more.
to flip.
Save spots.
Yeah, I had a spot.
What do I flip first? If I flip green first, because I know Jess ate gray, so I want to lock down that gray. I think so that's at least 1 point she doesn't get.
Oh, talking about this one?
Yeah. 1 point she doesn't get. 1 point I definitely get, because she's already screwed me on orange yellow.
Well, you remember the one you're locking, you're not flipping.
I've got two.
Exactly, Eric.
So I'm gonna. I have to flip one first, because I want orange.
Yes.
I maybe don't want.
So
Whoa,
hey,
hold
no,
on.
start by
Sorry.
yeah.
Hold on. What
No,
are we
no,
doing?
flip it back.
What are we doing? Flip it back.
Flip it
What are
back.
we doing?
Say what you're doing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Spin the polyp.
You're flipping green
Flipping green.
in the
So
open
just
sea.
flipping it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just flipping green.
So all the greens
Okay.
and one more. There we go.
Yep. And then
Spending another tile from in front that nobody
I
can
didn't
see.
think this. Sorry.
Yeah, he
Okay.
picked both of them up.
And I'm going to put a blue down,
And then the other blues flip.
which yeah, I'm alright with that in the end.
Okay.
And I assume you're done.
Yep. I'm gonna grab this bad
Battle
boy.
over orange.
Well, I'm pretty sure. I know. Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm working backwards. I know what I'm taking here. But the question is, what do I do over there? What do I do on my turn? Or I hate the idea of skipping another turn, but I need this. I'm not coordinating very well out here, I feel like.
Welcome to the club.
Oh yeah, the PS4's YouTube app is not very good. It's not very bad either. I mean, having YouTube on your TV is fine, but it can be kind of buggy.
All right. I am going to spend a gray cube, taking 4 from behind here. Gray is dominant over white, at least temporarily. Well, hold on. We're going to go 1, 2 for sure. Just nibble. Just a little off the top, Jack.
A little touch.
There. And the question is, where do I put the 4th one? I think up here. And do I do it there? It keeps that one open for battling between me if he spends the one to
Right.
place that.
And orange is always going to be over
Great.
gray, so that protects you, because that's not changing.
I think that makes the most sense,
Yeah.
at least.
I can see it.
And I hate that I feel like I'm stagnating. I'm just not getting a whole lot of synergy here. So maybe,
Go get some synergy.
yeah, but the
And the last thing you want is still water.
problem is wrong tiles are
Actually,
coming out,
some
honestly.
still water.
Right?
Oh yeah.
The,
Thanks for the reminder.
Oh. Banker Dave.
the original plan was to go and get this. But I don't know that that helps me a ton.
Yay,
Or
Banker
do I
Day.
go here, actually?
Happy retirement again.
Oh, awesome. That means sure I got a job. I'm happy to hear that, Dave. Good. Golly, this is really, really hard.
Tanky?
I think we go here. We stay on
All
target.
right.
Done.
Yeah, you have all these whites in front.
Yeah.
That
It's
seems
just, it's,
powerful.
yeah, exactly. And yeah.
That's at least 3 whites. Yeah.
Right. But the problem is I have 4 scrimp out there. So,
Well, cannibalism comes to mind.
boy, does it. Oh, wow, looky here.
Wow.
boy.
Wow, that's a lot of white. But
It's a lot of.
I'll take that if it comes back around, just so you know. Just saying. Okay?
Even though it comes
I mean,
with
but
an
you can only
orange
place
cube.
4 at a time, and that starts to
Right.
get...
No, 4 from behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
These go
Yes,
behind.
right, yes,
But those go
they do.
behind.
So if you have more than one white already,
It kind of
then
starts to be like
not-
But
a
then you
long
can
game.
use the white for another cube to build twice. later
no,
on.
not from behind.
No.
Not from behind.
Only
Why
from
would
the
you
front.
spend it from behind?
You would want to, but you cannot.
That would be...
That would be illegal.
all right, that would be illegal.
Illegal.
Ah, all right.
Or cheating.
Or cheating.
That, right?
One
Yeah.
or the other. I dislike...
I guess technically it's only illegal
coral
if
over
you
there.
get arrested for it.
I can't eat any of your coral satisfactorily anyway.
Just sounds like she's becoming greedy.
I know I'm doing
heard
that.
that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to... That I know I want to do there. So do I do nothing else?
All right, which one of y'all is going to make me change that number tonight? From
Come
737
on.
to 738, moving up, not the other way around. It's not a challenge.
Yeah. Wrong way. Who's going to make me up the number
there you go. Come
behind
on.
me tonight?
Be that person.
Oh, I need to eat, but I cannot.
Yeah, you almost made me quit right here on that on live.
All right, well then.
On the spot.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
I
challenge.
don't want that. That would be
Going
good.
up, exactly.
Yeah, we only,
Oh.
you only need... Math is hard. 63 for the next goal.
Yeah, yes, and that's going to get fixed this weekend. Yes. There.
Okay, let's see what comes out. Do that. Bam.
I didn't think it was going to make it back to me, for what it's worth.
No. But it could have.
It could have.
It wasn't going to, but
It could have, right.
Hmm.
Illegal, right.
Not as tasty. But, okay, I will
I'm
do...
starting to think this game has
To
something to do with it.
demonstrate this, how we do different things differently this game, I'm going to do the action nobody ever does. And I
Turn
will
this in for a cube.
Turn this for
a
a
tile.
orange tile.
So the
Okay.
funny thing is, you've told me multiple times over discussing this game, you never want to do that, Jess.
Right.
Just never,
I
ever.
guarantee
No.
he
Okay,
doesn't
no.
want to do
No, I
that.
But the opportunity is just so good that
It's
I
so
must
good.
do that.
All
And
right,
then I
do
will
it.
pay my other orange cube to place 2 from behind, 1 from the front into these 3 safe spots over here.
Yeah.
There you
Permanently
go.
safe
Yep,
as long as
permanently
that
safe. because
Permanently
lock.
safe.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
exactly.
So that seemed too
And-
good
Yeah.
not to
Symbiotic
spend the cube for.
Coral placement. It was
And take this.
Well done.
Yeah, no, that was, I think that was excellent maximizing. If you're going to waste a cube,
Yep.
what?
Australia would be the Great Barrier Reef Encounter.
It would be, that's the expansion, Great Barrier Reef expansion for those down in Australia.
Australia.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's a co-op between Martin Wallace and Richard Breeze.
There you go, right?
Australia.
Well,
Sorry.
Reef.
So Cthulhu meets Reef Encounter. Think about that.
That's funny.
Then you no longer just eat coral. You eat everything.
That's funny. That's funny.
don't want to get greedy, don't want to go too far ahead of
Or
myself,
maybe
so I'm
you,
just
one
gonna,
or two of those spots
just gonna take
are
them.
where the old ones are slumbering.
There you go.
When you eat them, you kind of wake them up.
Somebody is now.
Oh,
Then they
no.
invade Australia.
Right.
Just think of how epic this can be.
Okay.
One of the tiles could be empty Foster cans, yes.
But what's the point in that? If it was full Foster cans, there we go.
Is it the Great Barrier Reef in the Indo-Pacific Ocean? I mean, it's Australia, I get that, but
It's
is that also considered
don't
part
know.
of the Indo-Pacific?
I don't know.
that I do not know.
I think so. Because that's where That's where parrotfish are. A lot of them.
I bet there are parrotfish there. It's northeast Australia. It's right up above the Gold Coast.
That would probably be the Indo-Pacific, because that's where...
Between that and New Zealand.
All right,
Yeah,
Jess, you're up.
Trying to help you out.
Do you want to Google it yet?
I'm going to eat. Nom 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 nom.
That was weak.
Nom 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 nom.
I didn't say nom 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 last time.
Yeah, you did. I made you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. I thought you made me the
You
first
missed
time.
it, but then he made you.
Mm-hmm.
No, Australians don't drink Fosters. Aussies
We
do.
need to eat.
Aussies.
No, they don't drink Fosters down there.
No.
They do not.
It's only for export.
Bundaberg rum. I actually still have a bottle
Hello.
from when I went there in 2001. Still have a bottle of rum from there. Bundaberg rum. Yep.
Okay.
That doesn't
So
sound
you're not
good.
a
I'm
big
not sure
rum
that's
drinker then?
It's more or less just keeping it for posterity because, my first trip.
It's from
Darn
down
it.
there.
Yeah, exactly. Where everything is backwards, everything's slower. And, dude, seriously, the pace of life, at least in the places I went there, was wonderful. Spending a white...
So I'm really upset about this because I can't get the free
Or you
one.
can. You can build 2 there.
No,
No,
because
it's
I
white.
cannot get that.
She can't be adjacent.
That is not a thing I can get.
Oh.
I'm fully aware that I cannot get it.
Hold on.
I'm
I
not
thought that
happy
was...
about it.
I thought that was hers. She was
No.
adding on to it. Okay. Understood.
No,
Competing white.
I'm saying
Correct.
I cannot get it.
Hold on. You know what this is?
Ooh.
This world's smallest violin.
Is it,
Playing
though?
My Heart
Is
Bleeds
it?
For You.
That's not bad.
That's tempting to wait for another orange to just get that freebie.
Jerk. All right, so I should do that. Is that what I'm going to do? Oh, but that's pretty tempting. Nope. I'll take the white cube in the two.
Yep. Oh. Cube more important, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cubes are good.
So we've been told.
Yep, that's what I hear.
Repeatedly.
All right, I think it's time to finally... Om nom nom nom.
Oh, that's it.
This orange has grown as far as it will go.
You got it.
There you go.
Pay your toll.
And then 4 of them come to me. And now that this is wide open,
Could have named this Key Largo. I like that, actually.
let's spend that yellow cube. Go 1. Ooh, look at that, a freebie. 2.
Yes, it is.
Checks out.
Don't want those to get eaten by white though. 4. And 1 from the front makes 5. Oh, and I ate a shrimp. Oops.
Oops.
That does not work, does it?
No.
I mean, it does work.
I mean, for somebody.
I will gladly take up the mantle.
If you would like to.
A slight miscalculation there.
Yes, yes.
So
there
Asher
was.
doesn't have any shrimp left behind his screen.
Can't really do that.
So
Goodbye,
he's building
freebie.
Reef for us.
Goodbye, freebie.
Freebie back.
Forgot I have all my shrimp committed.
I didn't.
You were
I
going
was
for the
watching.
long.
Great.
I know, I was wondering.
I'm sitting here like, which
But he
one is
could have
gonna
moved.
give up?
You could move and abandon something else if
You
that's
could.
really what
Yeah,
you want to do.
but not a fully formed
I see.
reef.
But I kind of thought I thought that's where you were going with it.
I know, I just missed that. Very sadly, I missed it. So, instead,
It wasn't me who was getting greedy.
still do that.
But
To my left.
That shrimp will go swim in the ocean for a bit.
As he can do.
Black is dominant over pink, so here we go.
No,
coming
that's
up.
not black, that's yellow.
Oh, sorry, yellow. I apologize.
well, yellow is also dominant over
2.
pink.
Yes.
And then 3, 4, and 5.
There you go.
Squelching noises. Interesting.
I have no idea where you're going
Yeah,
to put it,
you
but I
can put
just
it
threw
where
it
you'd
back
like.
on there somewhere.
Yeah, it can't protect everything,
Cannot.
but
Don't remind him, Omer.
Understood. Understood.
I think he's well aware that that's the goal.
Just being a great
Sure,
teacher.
let's put it there.
Yes, as I am wont to do here
Always.
in Boston.
Let's
Yes,
put it there.
you're a great teacher.
And I'll take this one. Yep. The line shrimpage. It's gone.
That'd be a little short-sighted, wouldn't it? I could do it. I don't know if it'd be worth it. No. I'm going to use my pink cube to build a pink coral there. And
one is bait.
Here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Mister, I've eaten twice already. Make myself a target.
Then I'm going to use my white cube. You know what? I don't want to put it there.
I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you. Keep checking to see. No one is.
It will be a good spot for this. I think that's the best I'm going to do. Anyways, I use my white cube. Oof. Goodness.
Stay safe, kids.
Greg playing in his own little sandbox, and you guys let him.
You guys, you're part of this too over here.
I wasn't going to point that out. I was just saying, you guys. The two Utes.
That's
One.
cute.
There. All right. Well, staying with my original plan. There.
Ooh. Speaking of sandboxes.
There.
Ugh.
What eats pink?
Gray. Yellow.
Good thing you guys just use your gray and yellow tiles. Oh no, you can use your gray tiles. No one has in a while.
I'm going to go and spend one of these guys.
And flip all the purples. Ooh.
I approve of this play.
Oh, this is terrible.
Honestly, I think... Wow, this is quite the conundrum I have between those, but I think... You know what? Going there.
went there.
I did. Done.
White. Can still eat pink,
One,
but not interested.
three.
Turn out there.
Really, they call it Reef Encounter of the second kind and not the third?
The expansion is
Yeah,
the
the
second
expansion.
kind.
I haven't really delved into it much, but I haven't really heard that the game really needs it.
Yeah, actually, from what I heard about the expansion, I chose not to
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
to pursue
There you
it.
go. Well, cool. Michael says, I have the original Reef Encounter, haven't played it in more than 10 years. Y'all make me want to pull it out to play it.
That's
Awesome.
kind of where we were.
That's
My
kind of
last
the
logged
impetus
play
for it.
was from 2015, so I
Right.
was very happy for the opportunity to
Yes.
play it again.
All right, Asher?
I had it all planned out. Damn, this is just so enticing.
Get
I'm
it.
dead last.
Do it.
It's not
It
that
doesn't
you're
matter.
dead last.
Eating is
However,
like
I can't really do it, so you're welcome, Edward.
Well, if you can't
Doing
do
great.
it, you're not doing me a favor.
Well,
You
no,
know?
no, no, I can't do it. I could do it, but it's better for me to expand my own gray.
Well, I'm
So
just
I'll
trying to
do
help you out.
Here,
man.
oh, okay. Thank
You can't do
sir.
that.
Why not?
You change the power.
Pink is over green.
Okay, fine. We shall then flip that.
Or playing a...
But
Green.
wait, that's a green. The question is, if while I'm doing the green, do I want to lock any green?
So that's coming off. We know that. Okay.
Nope.
Okay, so just flipping
Just
green.
flip all the greens.
Okay. So there, there, and there.
Now I will do what I wanted to do,
Okay.
which is this. 2.
The nice thing about this, though, is now that I know that Asher has all of his shrimp out and Greg has all of his shrimp out,
Yeah, you're kind of safe.
that was my thinking on it.
4.
Well,
Three,
so
four, 3, 4, 3, 4.
Yellow can creep up on me here. Somebody else can just come there, so let's do that. All right. There is that.
Did I interest you?
Yeah, and some tasty, tasty stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
some
sure.
tasty polyps. You know,
Bumps.
polyps aren't tasty.
Well, they are if you're a parrotfish, apparently. Mucus-covered parrotfish to boot. Ooh.
Happy with that.
Wow.
Cool. I am not going to eat yet.
In that case. If that's the way you put it, never mind.
So
Right?
currently, orange can be eaten by white. Okay. So we're going to build 2 orange right here as offering for the gods.
And then chomp, chomp, chomp. Gobble them down.
Maybe that wasn't the best spot to put those.
Not so fast, my friend.
It's really easy to get to. This is a little harder to get to. Ah, boy. Oops. Oh well. Next time I will think better. Oh, or I can make it really rough for people to do stuff to eat it. Which is why I have these 2. So in case I need to flip something first.
Or last.
Oh, yep, that's what we do. This to lock down a red. Sorry, I'll pay it to you. That makes more sense.
Flip all the reds.
Flips all the reds. And then. Oh, once per
Can't lock
turn.
twice, yep. I saw you reaching for that lock.
I thought about it.
And could I interest you in some
Tasty.
tasty polyps?
Yes, just give me a second because my
Parrotfish
Your parrotfish
is
had a
spewing.
blowout.
It's feeling really sick.
shock and surprise, I took the pink ones.
Yeah, wow, really? Okay. Who knew? Wow. Nom 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 nom.
Speaking
nom.
of pink,
Yes.
Here's the offerings.
that's a lot of pink.
That's 4. I will
One
take
more.
it.
Wow, 5.
Ooh, ooh,
That is actually
ooh.
5.
Oh, my bad. Did I miscount? I'm sorry. And hey, welcome to the game. There you go. That's for you, Omer. Okay. Mix those up. Oh, that's better. Okay. So, welcome to the game, Edward. Okay, so now all right, so now that was as far as I got, and I got to be honest. That'll work. Could we temporarily remove my friend, the Scrimple? There you go. Actually, probably not a good place for him there either. He'll go out in deep water. White
Go
is
swimming.
currently dominant over orange.
Nom 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 nom.
Time to place all
There,
those
so there's a white. There's going to be
Well,
4
only
from
4
behind,
and 1, yeah, 5.
and there.
Just enough to eat 3.
I'll let you
And so
decide.
we'll go 1, 2, 5.
And a freebie to boot. Would you care to place your shrimp back?
In fact, I would. Thank you.
Let's put it here temporarily.
Okay, so looking at this,
Probably not there.
probably not. Am I getting too greedy with that? Is the question.
Or not greedy enough.
Sorry, I'm just gonna.
No, we kind of left them there, but sure.
Oh, well, I figured it's not relevant. So
There.
last flipped was red.
That's not happening. So, I'm going to spend this to flip purples. Then I'm going to spend this to lock one. There are 2 that I want to be able to lock.
Probably not going to happen.
So in that case, let's go ahead and lock that
And flip the greens.
and flip the greens. I think that's my most advantageous
Oh, wow.
of
Yep.
those.
That's a pretty good move.
So I can't lock anything.
Can you beat Greg in his own game, though? Will be the question. We shall see.
Oh, wow. This is definitely different because right now they're all starting at 2. Whereas at this point, last game, orange was worth 4 points.
Pink is worth 5.
No, I mean lockdown.
Oh, locked.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And for my last action,
Yeah, the one of each is locked, yeah. Interesting.
So it really is anyone's game.
No, because gray and orange are under twice.
Wow, they're the only ones that are under.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. The over is set, but the under is not, so... dynamics.
No, so there's no white out here at all.
No.
That's pretty wicked.
I think it's all on the board.
Yep.
Yeah, and everybody built them and left them to rot.
Well, like last.
That one.
That's yours.
Yep, yep.
Not mine.
And done. J-Rex.
Oh, that was terrible for me.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Mm,
You didn't like it. I thought you'd love it. I didn't like it.
that was really, really terrible.
That's pretty much the best move I think I've ever made in
No,
this.
that was
in this
really,
whole
really
game.
well done.
So in the history of this, yeah.
So that's
Yes, this is just the
pointless.
base game, Renji. Yep.
Wow.
I don't think you need much more than that.
I don't think this
It's
game
thinky
requires
enough,
it at
and
all.
it doesn't
Yeah,
need more fiddly bits.
I agree.
It's very cohesive.
I might as well eat this.
Oops, didn't even do it.
Nom,
Nom, nom, nom, nom.
The Reef Encounter God will get theirs.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many was
This
that?
game is moving fast and so different than
And
when we played off screen.
That's up to you to remember, sir.
1, 2, 3.
Very different.
I looked away for a second.
Don't worry, I'm not doing well this
She
time.
just ate. Nothing to
There's
see.
no point to that.
So don't want to do that. But
Okay. It's good, but wow. Okay. That's awful, but that's what I'm gonna do. Or even this, doesn't matter. Yeah.
Ooh. It's only a two tile reef, right?
Yeah, but it's worth a lot right now. I have nothing
is.
else I can do. I got backed into a corner. And the interesting thing is getting backed into a corner, you kind of don't want your competitors backed into a corner because you know what they're going to do.
Chaos. Choose.
Yeah, what do I want up here? That doesn't help me.
You want to know what's interesting is I did nothing offensive to anybody in this game, right? In
Oh,
the
you
sense
did?
that- no. It was strictly to help me, so it was very much secondary. That if it hurts all three of you, that's beneficial. But no, it was strictly to protect me and to help me. That's all it was.
Oh, no, that's true. I guess I'll take this.
All right, Asher. You pass? Greg, you pass? All right.
Pass and don't draft.
That was exactly the plan. How did you know?
We're not keeping track, Eric.
Wow.
Yes, if that was your third feeding.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
It's not going to go well.
Don't be helping him there.
Sorry.
Your chaos now stuck me in a loop
it's
here.
pretty, yeah.
Stuck me in a loop.
I'm gonna feel
Because
bad, I
two
promise.
free pinks are just so tempting. But then, what do I abandon? Oh. the horror.
I'm so excited about my next turn as long as you people just let me do it. I'm so excited.
I can't wait to see it.
Keep that. I'm going to keep that. Am I going to throw that one away? No, can't throw that one away.
I love that he's asking
That was way
and
too
answering.
big.
That's awesome.
That's like me.
It was only smaller.
Whole conversations,
Damn it.
and then I admit at the end that it was 1 point. There's the one.
I've heard that. I've been privy to that
I need
conversation.
to eat that one.
All right,
I can't just
I got
leave
you.
it there.
So
You could
no,
have.
no,
It's
no,
fine.
the reef gods will
Okay.
get their 4, and then
I'll
your
get my
4.
All right.
Nom, nom, nom.
Okay.
And as much as I'd love to take care of that freebie, I can't. So I will. Spend that. I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. And that. Ooh. Nope, can't do that. Can't be too mean. You know what? I don't care about that. So we'll leave that be.
So just a reminder that if a player triggers it with their 4th feeding, it then requires 5 to the Reef Encounter God that goes back into the bag. The first 5 go in.
Yeah, we'll spend one of those. I will
Lock.
lock.
Yep, that's what I figured you were doing. Yep, that one. So blue, that one flips, and this one. Okay.
And then I will pay a white cube to place 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. Take this.
Nah. Not quartered around, but definitely.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't get 1 as much as you guys were lamenting my last turn.
Well, because it was a good move, but you didn't like do anything that directly was like.
Right.
You just did the smart thing to do. No.
Okay.
The bag gets theirs. And the parrotfish gets his. Going to use a yellow cube to place a yellow. Use a pink cube to place a pink. And eat the yellow. And
Well, you guys have let me do, so that's good. But see how it goes.
He's not done.
Yeah, well, maybe not. Well, he might
No.
be locking and flipping and
Yeah,
stuff, but
yeah.
I'm saying as far as anything else goes.
Yeah, not on the board.
I'm going to lock that down.
Okay, so this will go there.
And that flips this over.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, choose. Although this might be a cow's opinion. This might be moo.
Yeah, what has synergy right now? Nothing. Take the thing that I want.
All right, my last full turn.
Yeah.
I guess we're eating the white. So nom 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 nom.
Go.
There.
It's the bags.
All right. So yeah, there you go. There's for the bag,
And 2 for you.
and 2 for me. There. I will spend this to then. You know what? What color was that?
What do you mean?
that I just spent from here?
Orange?
I think it was.
Take
In
it
a
as
gallery,
orange.
what color was this tile here? Was it orange or what? I don't think I'm going to do that in hindsight. So we'll figure that out while that's going on. So I'm spending 1 for sure. And taking 4 from behind. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There. You know what? Doesn't matter. I can't take the risk.
It was orange though.
Yeah.
There, which flips this. It hurts me a little, but because then, for my second turn, I'm going to then, there, for my second build, take 2 more from behind, and 2 more from behind will go there, and those are completely protected because that's locked.
I was about to say, I'm like, right.
Yeah.
Shrimp moves.
You
for
just
free.
did
That
that.
is.
That will go away. And I can't, okay, so I can't build. I guess I'm done.
Yep.
So,
You locked, you did all the
yeah,
things you
pretty
could
much
do.
I did 2
You did
builds,
the entire
that's pretty
set.
much-
You can
yeah.
pass now.
right. I choose
Do
to.
nothing.
Looking at this, I will, again, I don't think it really matters. Actually, it does, just in case it doesn't end. So I will actually go and take that.
It's going to end.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
No,
feel
I
it.
mean,
Unless somebody
the
chomps
fact-
his entire reef off.
yeah. Because you have 2, so you may not want it to end. There's 3 out there. You can only flip once. I mean, lock once.
No, it's ending
There's
here.
Oh, because red's over
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's literally no
You're gonna
reason
do
for me
that
not
one.
to end.
Right. Even if you're down to 1.
Yeah. Because I think even if you flip over this one, whatever,
Yeah.
it's fine.
It's still worth it, yeah.
Because I'm going to get 1 more thing. That's it.
Yeah, I guess I rather toll you, so I'll eat.
All right, so that will trigger it. So the first 4,
Oh, that's your last one?
it is. That's our
Ouch.
fourth eating. So
No.
So
There.
If she didn't eat, I was going to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want you to eat. I don't want her to
That's one
eat.
more
See,
turn.
but and I could have gotten like 1 more point, but it wasn't worth it to
Right.
give you guys that chance
The
to get
extra,
even more.
well,
Yeah.
plus we would all get an extra tile then.
No, but I have such a great move.
I know, and I don't. Believe me, that's terrible for me, and I'm going to come in dead last, but at least I can hurt you. That's all I got.
That hurt.
So now, Jess, technically, for tiebreaker reasons, go ahead, take.
No, tiebreaker's only in front.
No,
No.
like,
Oh,
No,
yeah.
there's
for
like
tiebreaker,
4 levels, yeah. But not that we're going to
What is
need
the
it.
tiebreaker then?
Stuff behind your board, too.
Just stuff behind your
It's-
board,
yeah.
not what it's valued at or something to
No,
that
it's
effect?
No.
okay. Most consumed polyps that are still in front of
Mm-hmm.
the screen,
Yeah.
not spent, then unplayed larvae cubes, then unplayed polyp tiles.
Right. So Asher would win in a tie scenario.
Yeah.
But if Asher's not in the running,
Okay.
Asher is not in the running.
So here.
Let me tell you.
Okay, so that triggered the end game scenario. So what happens now is each of us, not named Jess, can consume 1, and the first 5 get spent to the reef god. So I assume you're eating this.
But just before that, I want to show my move.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
play a pink cube with 5 pinks, plus a freebie, plus 2. So that's like an immediate...
Let me show you. Similar.
Oh, so why didn't you do that
No,
then?
it wasn't worth it. It
Oh
was
my
going to be a
God.
pull of 5. It wasn't going to give me enough extra points for that to be beneficial. So,
Really? Okay.
so for you, that
Okay.
wasn't going to
That
happen
wasn't
for you
the-
either.
Oh, all
way.
right. I feel a lot better. Thank you, Jess.
There you go.
Your roll. You must slow. All right, so 5.
5.
1,
The
2,
toll
3
has increased.
4, 5 now because, and that's it.
I could eat the yellow, but then
And
I
then
get
Greg,
nothing.
Greg, your first 5.
Wait,
wait.
I can't lock
No.
and flip or
No.
anything?
No.
It is
Only thing you can do
her
is
per the rules.
Okay.
It is.
Oh.
You can't change
You-
anything,
so,
which is
end of
also
the game,
why.
if the game ends,
Yeah, that's a
all
big
of the
reason.
players
Yep.
except the player ending the game may have one additional turn each. During this additional turn, the only action a player can perform is to
Eat.
consume one existing
Okay.
coral with their parrotfish.
All right.
So there we go. So
That's
Sorry.
what it is.
these 5
That's why I was like,
Oh,
you know
no,
what,
no,
I'll
no.
leave
It's
it.
fine. I was just gonna flip the green. Or yeah.
No. You
those
weren't.
5 go away.
And your
And
shrimp. Ooh, your
for
parrotfish
me-
seems pretty full, sir.
Yeah, you did well this
Mine is
time.
kind of hungry.
these 5 come in.
So I guess in this case,
Ow.
rushing was good.
Rushing
but only
was pretty
because
good.
nobody else.
All right.
Yeah, this was way more peaceful than last time. I
Not
thought.
for me, it wasn't.
Everybody
no,
kind of built their
everything-
2 things together.
No, because I went over
Oh.
here, I diversified more, so no,
Okay.
it was not for me. It's very
Okay.
tumultuous.
So,
I think
you
we
know
didn't
what?
eat
Why
as
don't we
much
do
of
this?
each other
Here.
or of ourselves.
And it went quicker.
Yes.
It was the
So
faster game.
that is a tiebreaker, right?
It is, but I'm going to keep these, if needed,
that we can
as
see.
such there. But this
So
way,
we
everybody
can-
gets their own kind of corner.
Scoreboard. Yep.
There we go.
Oh, let me keep those separate from the score.
Yeah. Put your dude over it.
Yeah. Shrimpy.
Oh yeah, have your script protected.
Yeah, exactly. Protect your
You
tiebreaker.
get 3 scrimp to 1 tile.
Wow. This seems pretty horrible.
Oh, not as bad as me.
Okay, so here we go. So we'll start with orange. Why not? Okay, so orange is going to be worth 1. Everything's base price of 1 plus 1, 2. So each orange is going to be worth 3. Okay, there we go. Then we'll go pink. Each pink is going to be worth 1, 2, 3, 4 points apiece. So there we go. Okay. Then we'll go white. White is going to be worth 1, 2, 3 apiece. Each yellow is worth 2 apiece. And each black is worth 3
We agreed it's gray.
gray. Sorry, not black. Right. All right.
Splitting fish heads at this point. Fish heads, roly poly.
Oh,
fish
gosh,
heads,
no.
Fish heads. Eat them up. Yum.
So these are.
I got a little more white than I thought.
Yeah, what
But
did
I
we
must
say
have
it was?
eaten white twice, right?
I think 37. 'Cause These are
three
basically
each.
all 3s, right?
Yes.
No, it's
Orange,
the-
orange
Yeah,
are
yeah,
3s.
except this.
Orange are 3s, whites are 3s, and grays are 3s.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. So it's 7, 11,
33.
33, and 4, 37.
Yes.
Yep. All right, what'd you get, Jess?
34.
Wow.
You predicted it
Really?
correctly.
That's how you know.
I'm
That is
shocked.
unkind. You are better than
I'm sorry. Wow. So I hashtag
Wow.
bad teacher.
Yeah.
This might be the first time.
Ian's
in a-
complaining the whole way.
I
I'm
really
doing so
wasn't.
bad.
Oh, I was until that one moved. So
That's how
I
it
went at
goes.
44,
Yeah.
Greg at 42,
42.
Asher at 47.
37.
37, sorry.
47 will do it.
Yes. 37
And
and
34.
Jess 34,
Yes.
35. 35. I did
Okay. Move
All
on.
right, moving on. All
You
right,
won.
there we go. Wow. Legitimately surprised myself.
Hit HTI.
Yeah, you're right.
From yourself.
So,
Oh gosh, we are so under on the Glory to Rome. See, it was not so interactive as last time.
it was not. But okay, so Greg, this was your first time playing it this week. This is your second play, right?
Yes.
All right, thoughts on the game?
It's very neat. I think it's very efficient the way that all the different pieces work. It creates an interesting variable game each and every time without doing anything crazy. It's just, I drew this from the bag. All right, this is my best play. That's all the variety it needs, and it's more than enough to get different strategies going. This game played out, I think it's been said a lot, but it played out a lot differently from the last game we played.
Yeah.
Yep.
And literally the only thing that changed is that I got white and orange in the beginning instead of orange and yellow.
For you, you're
For me.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I mean, for everybody. The difference is that
At the start of, yeah, I gotcha. Okay, all right, cool.
Chris, I think it's lighter than Keyflower, to be honest. But yes, the rulebook
Yeah.
sucks. But now you don't need the rulebook
There you
anymore.
go.
You have the
there's
video.
that, yeah. So, what about you? I mean, it's been a number of years
It
since we played.
rekindled my love for it. It's really, really a good game. I liked it a lot at the time. I played it both in person and online on Spiel by Web. And yeah, not since 2015, but now I remember why I liked it so much. Yeah, with mechanisms that are not that complicated, a little bit hard to explain, at least in the rulebook, but I think now we got that covered.
Right, you're right.
Just the ebb and flow of, getting the flow of the refill and kind of slowly hoping that one lot builds what you need and then seeing the person in front of you take it. And the ebb and flow of the coral on the board, kind of seeing which are it's the spatial element of kind of protecting your coral in the corner so nobody can back into you, protecting your coral with your other coral that's more dominant, or what we didn't actually, I think, see in this game, but we saw a lot last game, cannibalism, eat your own
Eat
coral.
your own, yeah, move your own
I
shrimp
was
off.
trying at some point to do that. I overcommitted my shrimp to the corals, and I had them all out there, and I was trying to figure out how to eat one coral and release one of those shrimp to allow more flexibility to attack other people. But I didn't get the right
Honestly,
things to do
everybody
that.
was so well protected in this game, that was not an easy thing to do.
No, but even, nibbling 1 or 2 tiles that are worth 4 points might be worth it to do.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't
I was
figure out
trying,
how to
but
do
you
that.
guys kept placing
Yeah.
where that was
No, the
not
placing
an
was
option.
protected, so
Yeah.
we learned better how to protect
Yup.
from last time, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
But I'm saying I think I felt like I was overcommitted on the board, and they were all protecting like
Yes.
4 size
agreed.
coral, which I couldn't eat, so
Right,
it was kind
yep.
of a stuck point. So I think I learned from that.
Okay.
Where I think the game was lost for me was this coral strength tile thing, I didn't commit to it this time. If I had committed to a move I wanted to do, but didn't the whole game, because I thought, oh, I'll let somebody else do it. You blocking the white from,
Being able to take over the black.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
that
For
would
the gray,
have
right.
swung the points.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, once because I had been hoarding black or gray tiles the whole game, and I ended up. I had at one point 3 gray cubes and I think 6 gray tiles.
Yeah, I
and
think you had the only move that I ever saw in these 2 games of playing 2 cubes of the same color and,
right
and
to be
laying
able to
more
that
from
way I
behind your screen.
protected it
Right.
because once I locked it, then I was like,
Yep.
okay, I don't have to worry about Jess coming in the other side. She can't, so now I can just worry about
Yeah,
this
that was a
one
very
little
nice move.
protection.
Kind of build up and then kind of spread on the board and being ready to eat it right away.
Exactly, and yeah. What did you think? on
So this is my second play of the game. I enjoyed it much more the first time. I think I'm going to want to play it more. So this is really interesting, especially how this market, I feel like
Yeah.
this is really just
Yes.
a market. So this is telling you your valuations of your kind of stock in coral. The way that these work though, the way that you flip one and it changes everything,
The whole
because
market,
now a
yep.
whole bunch of things are red that weren't red before, and maybe you had a plan for blue because they're not directly correlative on the back. It's this weird mix of algae that it's really hard to anticipate. So normally I'd be like, okay, I know that blue is going to do this and this is going to do this, but because they all interchange, that's not a thing you can memorize.
Yes.
So there is a lot
I
of...
can't.
Maybe if
no,
you do better, yeah.
You'd have to play this a lot to
Yeah, right.
really get that to a place where you memorize it, because
Mm-hmm.
it's not, like I said, directly correlative. So that threw me right in the beginning. And
Yeah, I
then
want to flip this one, but then it flipped 3 other
it
things
changes,
that I didn't want.
and then blue doesn't change
Right,
the other one's
yeah.
back. So there was that. What you didn't see, and I should have been much more liberal on the glory to Rome's in this, because what happened on your turns when it would come back to me, it made it impossible for me to get anything in front of my board, which, as you said, Usher, is extremely important. But because you kept changing those, it would,
the relative
you
powers.
specifically, would you would change, and I'd be ready to make a move to go eat, couldn't eat anymore, and didn't have one in front
To flip it
it
back,
back.
yeah.
So every time I went to eat, somebody made it so I couldn't eat. And then I would go and double up in tiles. So I was like, fine, I'll diversify, and I'll go get that. I was never able to eat except for that once, which made it impossible for me to influence the market. That is where I feel the game is really swingy and can make it so the game is playing you. I couldn't play the game. I had to just react. And you guys were so good about on that board blocking where you were. That was another thing that would happen where I would finally be able to eat and you had to block so I couldn't. So, because I couldn't get
we
two
had
out.
the same color,
yeah,
almost
or it was the
touching,
same
yeah.
color adjacent. And so I did get blocked out of playing the game.
Interesting.
But
having one or two in front of your screen at all times seems
I
so
wanted to.
important. Yeah.
I got the one, and then
yeah.
every time I went for anything else, couldn't do it.
Yeah, if that was intentional on our part, I think that
No.
would be no.
Right.
If
Yeah.
it was, that would be much better. But the fact that we just accidentally were like,
At the same time, I think some of that is inexperience on our end.
Right.
Like it could have been intentional. It wasn't. In I was playing my game. I have played this a number of times, but it had been years since I last played it until this week. And so I was very much focused on what can I do and how do I protect myself. And so when I was debating on whether or not to flip this one, because I knew that it was going to cause my pink to be worth less, not be worthless, but there. And I knew I'd had a bunch eaten already, and I was like, but it's too important for me to lock it first. I have to, and I'll take the hit in points that I take there, and that was
your gray.
And it, again,
and that's the thing. You did that.
Right.
Not even you didn't even want that to flip. You
No,
just,
I did not.
And so, as a side effect, though, you caused me
But
to
that's the
not be able to do
price.
anything else.
But that's the price you have to pay.
Yeah,
right?
and I think-
to do what you want.
No, for him, but
Yes.
for me, the problem was there was all these secondary impacts.
Ripples, yeah.
But I
Yes.
don't know that the game can fix that. There's not really a way where you can say that you can influence the market in another
What
way.
I wonder is, and I don't know because I haven't played this enough to be able to definitively say, maybe somebody who either watches it live or after the fact can speak to this, that I wonder if that's rare and it's just a perfect
Storm.
storm.
See, I don't
things
think
go-
so.
I
I
don't
think
know.
the better that people get at playing this game, the more you're going to see that.
But it's going to be
That's-
not just on one player, but it would be on multiples then, potentially.
Potentially. No, because it depends. You could gang up. You could also just be doing it accidentally, and it's the way the game falls. Which, again, so I'm not saying you guys did that to me. It wasn't. I didn't feel take thatty. It was very much secondary, but there's no way out of it. Developmentally wise, I think they were looking at, okay, well, then that player will end up consuming their fish really quickly. But that wasn't super beneficial to me. So that was my really only out, was to impact you guys by eating as quickly as possible and ending the game sooner. But it wasn't soon enough to make the impact I needed to make. So I think that was what they were looking for as a catch-up mechanic for that, but it didn't work for me this time.
So for me, and this might sound really silly to you guys, but the way this refills is one of my favorite mechanisms in this game. I don't know why, but it flows so well, and I feel like it spreads the randomness around to where it's not just one area that's getting pounded on something, and I like that it forces you to
make tough decisions.
To make really hard decisions with it.
Am I
And
taking this
What you're
cube with
gonna
the
take.
2 matching tiles, or am
Right.
I waiting for another one, but somebody else will get it?
Or do I get it where
Right.
it only has 2 tiles, but it's a cube that I really, really need?
Yeah, that is a
And
tough decision.
The
at the end.
game doesn't overstay. It's in and out in 90 minutes-ish, thereabouts, once players know the game. And that dynamic market, because, I mean, it's an investment game. That's exactly what it is with area control. And, yeah, it's
I like the theme, too. The theme's really
and
interesting.
it fits really well.
It's true to theme.
And the timing of the locks on the market is so intricate.
Yeah.
Can I wait another round and lock this one and wait for the other
then
one?
somebody else flips
no,
and locks.
somebody else flipped it. Yeah, I can.
Do I have enough tiles to then flip it and then lock it? Or
Brian
but
said,
then I can't place them.
right.
Yeah. Brian said you can eat your own coal. And that's true,
Yes.
Brian, but they would flip it so the color I was going to eat with didn't
Can't.
eat that color anymore. That was the key problem, is I was going to use pink to eat orange, and then he flipped it so orange eats pink. So that's where that dynamics market really comes into play. And I didn't have any in front because that's what I was trying to do. And
Yeah, I guess never give up a tile there if you're not eating
Right.
something.
Yeah, this is...
Maybe that'll be a rule of thumb now.
So, has everybody here played Keyflower? I'm not
Yes.
sure. Yeah. For me, I think this is my favorite Richard Breeze game. I think I like this more because generally Keyflower is thought of as Richard Breeze's kind of benchmark game, hallmark game. I think this doesn't get the love that it deserves. I think this might be my favorite game of his, and I love Keyflower.
I would pick. I think I picked Keyflower over this,
Okay.
but I'd have to think about it
Okay.
because Keyflower doesn't have a nice little belly of the fish.
There is that.
That is definitely the most fun part, where you're just like,
Oh, I'm a eat some, yeah.
and then
so-
it spills all out.
Yeah, I think I agree with Greg here. Keyflower is just so good, but this is a very close second.
Fair enough. All right, so there you go. That's Reef Encounter, y'all. Thanks everybody for joining us. It was a lot of fun on our end. Don't forget, like, subscribe, smash that. No, I'm not gonna. Like and subscribe. The like helps us. The bell helps y'all, and the subscribe helps y'all. And hit the little bell. Like I said, it helps remind you guys when we go live. I'll be back tomorrow in just over 12 hours with a State of Siege game from Victory Point Games.
A solitaire war game.
Yes, so
Necessity.
hopefully you guys come check that out. Also, you want to support the show, we really would appreciate it. Go to pledgehc.com and support the show there. That said, I'm Edward.
I'm Jess.
I'm Asher.
I'm Greg.
All right, you guys take care. Thanks, everybody.